Hello, welcome to Content News of Cần Thơ Radio and Television Station. Headline today. The opening ceremony of the Spring Press Festival and Spring Publication 2023 contest. Leaders of Cần Thơ City come to give gifts to typical policy families and poor households in Vĩnh Thạnh district on the occasion of the Lunar New Year 2023. Tây Đô Bridge was technically opened to traffic on January 13. On the morning of January 13, at Cần Thơ Public Library, Cần Thơ Department of Culture, Sports and Tourism, in collaboration with Cần Thơ Department of Information and Communications, Cần Thơ Journalists Association, held the opening ceremony of the Spring Press Festival and Spring Publication 2023 contest. Mr. Lê Quang Mạnh, a member of the Party Central Committee, cum Secretary of Cần Thơ City Party Committee, Mr. Phạm Văn Hiểu, Standing Vice Secretary of Cần Thơ City Party Committee, come Chairman of the City People's Council, Mr. Chương, Chairman of Cần Thơ City People's Committee, and leaders, former leaders of Cần Thơ City came for attendance. Quý Mão Spring Newspaper Association 2023 brings together nearly 40 types of spring newspapers throughout the country, supplemented by the organizing board through press distribution agencies, exchanged with libraries of 32 provinces and cities, received gifts and donations from press agencies inside and outside the city. Publications are displayed under 6 themes. Spring publications show the face of the country and the city during the national traditional death holiday, reflect the situation of the country and the work in the past year, especially Vietnam's achievements in socio-economic recovery after the COVID-19 pandemic. The Quý Mão Spring Newspaper Association will serve readers from December 22nd to February 9 lunar calendar at Cần Thơ City Public Library, open to serve throughout on that days. At the same time, 9 district libraries and 83 libraries of communes, wards and townships also held an exhibition of spring newspaper to serve the people. Also on the morning of January 13, Mr. Lê Quang Mạnh, a member of the Party Central Committee, cum Party Secretary of Cần Thơ City Party Committee, Mr. Lê Vĩnh Thạnh, Chairman of the Inspection Board of the City Party Committee, and the delegation came to give gifts to typical policy families and poor households in Vĩnh Thạnh district on the occasion of Lunar New Year 2023. On this occasion, Mr. Lê Quang Mạnh, Secretary of the City Party Committee, met the Vietnamese heritage model Nguyễn Thị Năm in Thành An Town, Vĩnh Thạnh District. The Party Secretary of Cần Thơ City kindly asked about her health and expressed deep gratitude for her contributions and sacrifice and her family to the nation. The Secretary wishes her always healthy, long life and solid spiritual support for children and young generations today. The Party Secretary also wishes that all levels, branches and localities continue to promote the tradition of drinking water, remember the source, well implement policies and regimes to take care of Harriet Vietnamese mothers, heritages of the armed forces, wounded soldiers, people with meritorious services to the revolution. Cần Thơ City Women's Union organized a program Spring of Love in 2023, giving gifts to members with difficult circumstances in Phu Thứ Ward, Kadang District, Motofolo. 100 needy members received gifts, each part consisting of rice, chicken, and some necessities for death, totaling more than 60 million dong. In the year 2022, Phu Thứ Ward, well implemented social security policies, promptly took care of the material and spiritual well-being of poor and near-poor households, policy families, and disadvantaged households with meaningful and practical gifts, with a total value of nearly 1,260 million dong. As part of the series of activities of the Confederation of Labor at all levels towards union members and employees, especially disadvantaged workers on the occasion of the Lunar New Year of the decade in 2023, the Binh Thuy District Labor Confederation gave 117 gifts, including cash and necessities, for workers of Binh Thuy Consumer Goods Manufacturing Liability Limited Company, Western Branch, An Thới Ward, and Seiko Cần Thơ Toy Store Company, Bùi Hữu Nghĩa Ward. Total cost of giving gifts is worth 58,500,000 dong. On the occasion of the year of the cat 2023, the labor union of Binh Thuy District gave nearly 900 gifts to needy workers flats in the area, each part worth from 350 to 500,000 dong. Cần Thơ City Association of the Blind on the morning of January 13 held a gift-giving ceremony for poor blind members. 200 gifts, including necessities, were given by the Blind Association of Cần Thơ City to poor and disadvantaged members. Each gift is worth 400,000 dong and 100,000 dong in cash. The total value of nearly 69 million dong by Hiểu Thương Charity Group and Tây Đô Cement Company and sponsors. We turn to other news. Tây Đô Bridge is started building in January 2022 by Cần Thơ Department of Transport as an investor and was technically open to traffic on January 13. The work has the first point of intersection with Provincial Road 923 at the position leading to the old Tây Đô Bridge across Cần Thơ River and the end point intersecting with the existing Provincial Road 926 at the position adjacent to Phong Điền District. The project has a total length of more than 700 meters, of which Tây Đô Bridge has the length of 140 meters with 4 lanes, a design speed of 40 kilometers per hour, and a total investment of over 280 billion dong. Construction is expected to be completed in August 2023. On the morning of January 13, the cluster of People's Security and Public Security coordinated to organize the opening of the 4 Hero Football Tournament to mark the Year of the Cat 2023. Participating in the competition were 4 teams, including Cần Thơ Public Security, People's Public Security and Militia Cluster, Cần Thơ International Airport, Saigon Tourist Cable Television, Business Investment Trading Service Company. They compete in a round-robin format, with the team with the highest score competing for the championship. The Kati symbolize human virtues, intensity, endurance, and faithfulness. They still preserve, sprout, and bloom despite their many obstacles and challenges. With that meaning and passion for Qatar, a young married couple living in Ambenwat, Ninh Kiều District, Cần Thơ City, began their startup journey. Studying together in Cần Thơ City's Horticulture and Landscaping Program, Miss Nguyễn Ngọc Lâm and her husband live in An Bình, Ninh Kiều District and are passionate about ornamental plants, particularly cacti. In 2015, Mrs. Lâm and her husband launched a business after graduating. They imported cacti for sale in front of the in-store with an initial capital of just 5 million dong. There are also difficulties. We have to plant them in the sun first, but there isn't much room, and the sun often changes direction, causing the plants to grow poorly. There is no experience. The market has not opened yet. There are low-quality seed sources that we brought to the plant, and they are not good. At the end of 2019, they decided to rent 500 square meters of land to build a cactus house. Currently, approximately 500,000 plants have been bred and hybridized with more 100 different types of cacti, most notably Gymno, Lobby, Mammy, Astro, and Agino, and within those basic types, there are numerous variations in terms of color, tone, pattern, plant size, and flower shape. It's property that they build after investing their time in collecting it until it's self-propagated.
About 5 years ago, we mainly imported from Thailand, China, and Indonesia, but now we have enough varieties to supply the market with a wide range of choice. We now mainly produce them ourselves.
According to Mrs. Lam and her husband, a beautiful cactus is evaluated based on criteria such as beautiful tones, rare varieties, and so on. Each cactus sells for everywhere between several tens of thousands and several tens of millions dong. In the garden, there are hybrid plants with just a fit, but there are self-breeding and unique plants, so the price is up to several tens of millions dong. In order for cacti to grow, the first requirement is for sunny conditions. The soil for planting must be open, water, and we wait until the soil is dry before watering again. We change the soil and roots when we feel the plant is full or bigger than the pot. The second is that we consider the roots unhealthy, touch the plant, and notice that the thorns are still soft despite daily watering. So we treat the roots and then replant. Currently, Miss Lam and her husband sell cacti primarily through social networks. Their main source of customers are Ho Chi Minh City, Hanoi, and other provinces. The average monthly income is from 20 to 30 million dong. We sell at Ninh Kiều K to let people abroad and see the beauty and diversity of cacti. Let people know about the cactus so that they can become interested in it and grow it. And now let's look at the weather forecast. That's all for the news of Cần Thơ radio and television station. Thanks so much for your attention. Please visit us on website kênh youtube.vn. Bye for now.